Recently, I received an email from a Jack Garcia, and the email goes as follows.
Hey, I'm sorry if this comes off as weird, but I'm desperate at this point. I really need your help. You see, recently I was playing on a Minecraft server with some of my friends, and unfortunately I did get banned. However, this is not why I'm contacting you. I'm contacting you because outside of the server, my friends and I usually talk through Discord. I haven't heard anything from them since I got banned though, and it's starting to make me really nervous. I don't think they would just stop talking to me because of the ban, so it has to be something else. Please help.
At first glance, an email like this doesn't differ super far from the usual requests that I get. However, something about this email in particular caught my eye. You see, at the bottom of this email is the IP for the server that all of this took place on, which means that I have full control over this investigation. After all, what's better than being able to look around and interact with the world itself when it comes to getting to the bottom of these mysteries? Now, I have been able to join some of these types of servers before, but usually it takes place way later into the investigation. So starting out with such a big advantage really got my attention here. So after deciding that maybe there was something here, I booted up my game, put in the server IP, and logged on. But after logging onto the server, I came across something interesting. The spawn was located directly next to a massive base, which makes my job easier as I don't have to look around for the players' homes. However, this base in particular seemed strange to me. One thing immediately that seemed weird is that they had an entire set of stables in their base. Two sets actually, except neither of them had any horses whatsoever. And furthermore, none of the chests had anything in them either, almost as if the base had been completely abandoned. But we're getting a little ahead of ourselves. So after investigating the main area and finding no signs of any players whatsoever, I took a look inside the main castle. Initially, things seemed normal enough. The first room had some sort of throne in it, crafting table, furnace, things you would see commonly. And the floor above that appeared to be some sort of storage room, but once again, no items. But the next floor had beds, 4 beds, indicating that this base had belonged to 4 players. So, if we assume that Jack was one of them, then who are the other 3? Well, right now we don't know, but going up to the top of the castle, we find that... Wait, another player? When I joined the server, I hadn't shown anybody online. So did they join after and I just didn't see it? I don't think so. After all, there didn't seem to be any join message at any point during my recording. Then all of a sudden, someone named Jackson12 leaves the game? It doesn't make any sense. Regardless, we need to keep moving as there is still much more to be explored. So going back down to the lower levels of the castle, we find that there's actually somewhat of a basement, which is something that I had missed before. And in the basement is 2 cells. The chest is trapped, which you can tell by the red ring around the opening. A journal written by a Rosaline23, and when opened, it tells us this.
The door is the way. It's time to quit resisting and just listen. I fought it for too long. Tomorrow, I'll comply. I'll listen. The door is the way out of all of this.
It seems that players were being kept here, in these cells. But why didn't they just mine out? That's how I got out. Was someone watching over them? Or was it a different reason? I'm not sure, but what I am interested in is the contents of the book. In the journal, the reader, Rosaline, says the door is the way. But what door and what does it lead to? It's also heavily implied that they've been here for a while, as the third line reads, I fought it for too long. Whatever the case, whoever was here is gone now and seems to have gone through whatever door they were talking about, though it does seem more likely that they were forced through the door to a degree. Now, moving on to the next cell, it seems pretty empty at first. No trapped chest, but nothing inside of it, and a bed. It doesn't really give us much to go off of. Maybe it's just an empty cell. Or maybe not. A lever hidden in an item frame behind the chest, but a lever that you can only place on copper bulbs. Now, in Minecraft, this only applies to players that are in adventure mode, so it doesn't affect us right now, but it may give us a clue as to why these players may have been stuck in here. Maybe they were in adventure mode. Now, there's still another set of stairs. These ones go even deeper and lead to the bottom of the castle, but what I was about to find, nothing could have prepared me for. A doorway? Surely it has to be the one that Rosaline was talking about in her notebook. But what could be so special about it? Huh? This can't exist. The bottom of the castle was at ground level. So for a hallway to go this far, it would obviously have to be poking out the side of the mountain, which from the start, from me spawning in, we can see that that's obviously not happening. So how is this here? The way back has been shut off, and what's worse is...
Finally, it worked! My trap actually worked! I can't believe someone actually fell for it! Do you have any idea how long I've spent trying to get someone to join this server? How many people I sent that bullshit email to? And out of all of them, you were the one that joined, and now you're stuck with the rest of them. Good luck getting out, cause now that you've joined, I'll be pulling all your information while you squirm and hide.
Fuck. You know, there's always been a risk doing these sorts of investigations. Inserting myself into situations that I don't belong, causing problems for hackers and criminals and such. It's never been the sort of job you take on if your goal is to stay out of trouble. So it was just a matter of time before I got myself into a situation like this. And by all means, it almost certainly is a situation. You see, when you join a Minecraft server, it pulls from your internet all sorts of information. For example, on the player list alone, it shows your IP, which from that, you can get someone's address, name, almost everything. Except, there's one thing that Jack didn't account for. I'm a sore loser, and an even worse winner. And there's still a mystery to solve. So, what do we have so far? Well, aside from Jack being a stalking weirdo and randomly leaving the game, not much. But we did learn a couple of things from this most recent encounter. Firstly, there seems to be some sort of symbol when the gateway closes behind us. It's not super relevant right now, but it's something to keep in mind. Secondly, Jack says that we're stuck with the rest of them, implying that we're not alone here. Which leads me to my first real theory. I believe that this initial world, the world that we logged onto, is somewhat of an anchor world. The origin world, if you will. And the doorway that we entered leads to something else, some outer plane. That's why it showed Jack leaving the game but not ever joining. Additionally, it seems that Jack may not be able to fully access the anchor world and definitely doesn't have admin permissions over it. Now, I came to this conclusion for a few reasons. Number one is that Jackson waited for me to enter the gateway to make his grand proclamation that he had already won. And if he did have access to the anchor world and furthermore admin, then he wouldn't need to wait. He could have just pulled my IP and called it a day, but he didn't. Then there's the fact that, well, I'm still here. I'm still in the game. If Jack had what it takes to pull my information right now, then he'd also be able to boot me from the server, stopping my search for the 3 other players dead in its tracks. Now, that was a lot, so what does this all mean? Well, here's what I think. Jackson can't access the anchor world, but he can access the gateway and whatever potentially goes beyond that, which we still have yet to explore. Also, I don't think he has admin permissions either, not anywhere. But based off his arrogant rant at the end, he probably does have some way to get them in the gateway at the very least. Now, how he's going to do that, I have no idea. But what I do know is that we're on somewhat of a timer.
Wait. Who the hell are you?
Did someone get through?
Yeah, but I don't know who this guy is. Hey, did you see someone named Rosaline before you got here?
No, but I found a journal.
Where did you find this?
In one of the cells in the castle. Did you guys know her?
Yeah, Rosaline is our friend. The whole reason we're here is because we've been waiting for her. But again, who are you? How did you get on the server?
Someone named Jack sent me an email with server IP, but as it turns out, it was a trap the whole time.
So you got another one, huh?
What do you mean? Are you guys not friends?
Not anymore. Not after you lied to us and led us here.
So, you guys have been stuck here this whole time?
Well, not exactly. It's like I said, we've been waiting for Rose to show up. But instead, we got you. Anyways, seeing as you're in the same boat as Ty and I here, I suppose we should fill you in on what's been going on.
Okay, a lot just happened, so let's back up just a touch before we continue. When walking through the hallway, the symbol behind us seems to follow, but only after we make it a certain way through. Also, upon closer inspection, the symbol resembles a sort of eye. I mean, yeah, obviously it does, but what I'm trying to say is that it almost looks like it's watching us. And if it's connected to Jack in any way, then that's a really bad sign, because that means that Jack knows that we're continuing our investigation. Also, the rules of the gateway at the end of the hallway seem to be a little iffy right now. As we get closer, it resembles a sort of rift, a division between the space, but then one step closer and boom, it's open. So far, the trend that I'm noticing is that all the inconsistencies between two spaces seem to operate in some sort of rule set, like the eye symbol waiting to jump forward until we reach a certain point, and the rift at the end of the gateway fully opening. Now, if we go back to the very start of our investigation, when we first joined the server, things start to come together. As I stated before, we can't see the hallway coming out of the hill, which means that the space outside of the gateway operates differently than the space inside of it. There seems to be some sort of spatial condensing going on, which we do actually see in vanilla Minecraft normally. See, as I'm sure all of you are already aware, distance traveled in Minecraft's nether dimension is 8 times more condensed than in the overworld. So, for example, if you traveled 8 blocks in the nether dimension, then popped back out in the overworld, you would have actually traveled 64 blocks, which is exactly what I think is happening here. Inside the gateway, the distance between the front and the end are relatively distant, but outside, they're actually much closer than they seem. Then upon entering the rift, we find ourselves somewhere new, an outer plane. Now, I know what you're thinking. I'm making a lot of assumptions here, and yeah, I actually agree with that. But because of the situation we're in, I don't have the time to work things out. I'm forced to go with my gut and keep moving, which is exactly what led me to 2 of our missing players, Nick and Ty. And it seems like we're about to get to know them a little bit better.
Yo, what's up, man?
Hey. So, have you guys both just been waiting here for Rosaline?
That would be correct.
How long has it been since you guys have last seen her?
To be honest, I'm not entirely sure. I feel like it's only been a few days, but in reality, it's probably been closer to a few months.
Hold on, Ty. Don't throw too much at him at once. Listen, I'm Nick, and this is my best friend Ty. We were betrayed by Jack just as you were, except we unfortunately got to know him a little bit better.
Yeah, well, things were a lot better before, the incident. The four of us used to have so much fun.
Well, that was a long time ago now. Anyways, I'm sure you noticed that this place isn't exactly normal.
Yeah, I was able to piece that together.
Hey, if you want to act smart, you can figure all this out by yourself.
Come on, Nick. It's alright. He just got here. Okay, don't forget how you were. It took me forever to calm you down.
You're right. You're right. I'm sorry. But as I was saying, this place is seriously messed up.
And this is just the start of it.
We've been calling this the bridge, but beyond it is where things start to get really weird.
Weird how?
Well, things don't exactly make sense. Every time you go down the bridge, it leads to someplace new.
We haven't been able to figure out how it works yet, but I think we're getting close.
So, is it like the gateway, the door that brought us here?
Kinda, but it's also different. The gateway only leads to this one place. But once you're here, you can't go back.
So then, how are you supposed to get out? What's your plan once you find Rosaline?
Well, the only thing that we can really do is go down the bridge.
Didn't you say that it leads to random places though? Also, how do you know that to begin with? Have you guys already gone down the bridge?
Once. And it was hard as hell to get back.
That's why we're waiting for Rose before we move on.
What if Rose had already gone down the bridge? It seems based off her note that she had gone through the gateway at least.
Well, after you showed up with her journal, that's what I'm beginning to think.
So, what do you want to do, Nick?
I think we wait for another day, then we head in. You're welcome to stay with us if you'd like.
Guys, I don't really think we have time to wait around right now. Jack said himself that he was going to pull our information, and I'm really not willing to sit around and find out if he can or not.
I get it, bro. Do what you gotta do.
We can't give up on our friend. If she shows up while we're gone, then there's no chance of us all making it out of here together.
Here, before you go, take this. If the world that you go to is anything like the one we went to, then you'll probably be moving a lot.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate all the help. And for what it's worth, I hope you find your friend.
Thanks, man.
Good luck. I hope you find a way to stop Jack. For all of our sakes.
I will. Now, it was time. Enter the gateway, make it to the end of the bridge, and somehow find Rosaline. This was it. This was the moment I've been working towards the entire time. But for some reason, I still felt it. Fear. Anxiety. This was the moment I wanted, but I was still scared. Yeah, Nick and Ty have been through it already, but they didn't have Jack after them like I do. And from what I can tell so far, it's much more likely that he'll try to intervene again than not. So this is it. I have to go through.
So, you thought you could go through my domain without me knowing about it. Your little scheme is over, Max. I'm ending this here.
What the hell? Where am I? Where's Jack? Am I safe? Okay, calm down. Calm down. Think. I was on the bridge for a while. I got to the end of the bridge and boom, Jack shows up. But why then? Why at the end of the bridge? Why not at any point in between? Because I was stuck? Did he want me to jump? I mean, I had no other choice. He was right there. He's obviously capable of some insane things. I couldn't just stay there. I had to take the risk. I had to take the jump. I don't know what's going on, but we're definitely somewhere weird. Is this where Nick and Ty went? Is Rosaline here? This place is awful. It looks dead. I can't imagine someone living here. So it seems that we aren't alone here, but whatever it is that's here with us doesn't seem to be as friendly as Nick and Ty were. I mean, that attack came out of nowhere, and if we didn't have the instincts to hide right away, then who knows what could have happened. The aftermath alone is clear enough. It shows the destructive capability of whatever that thing was. I mean, for all we know, it was sent by Jack, or Jack at least sent us to it. Regardless, we must keep moving on, because the longer that we wait here, the farther we get from finding Rosaline. Rosaline was here. Yeah, I know. I didn't look for very long, but I think I already know what happened here. First off, as we enter the house on our right, we see an assortment of different bookshelves. And if I was trying to leave some sort of message here, I would have utilized these. But as you can see, there's nothing in the chiseled bookshelves. So how else could I send a message? Maybe some sort of hidden cache? Well, maybe, but after looking around further, we find that there really isn't anything like that, and then boom. Maybe you missed it, but it'll make sense once we go back to the start of the video. Back here at the cells, we found two items. First off is Rosaline's journal, where she explains how she's finally going to go through the gateway, implying that she was forced to in some way. Then in the next cell over, we find a lever, but not just any lever. We find a lever hidden behind a chest that can only be placed on a copper bulb. And what do we find in the back of Rosaline's cabin? A copper bulb. I mean, it makes so much sense. It's the perfect way to send a message without Jack knowing about it. After all, he doesn't have access to the main world anymore, so he could never find it. Okay, so someone led us here, but how do I know that it's Rosaline? Well, a couple of reasons actually. First off, we know that Rosaline had already gone down the bridge. Additionally, it would make a lot more sense for Nick and Ty to ask us about the lever when we met up with them. Yeah, maybe they were worried about Jack overhearing or something, but I seriously doubt it. From what we can tell so far, Jack's reach is somewhat limited, with him only showing up at very particular times, like in the gateway and at the end of the bridge. So now that we've got all that figured out, there's only one thing left to do.
Finally, you're here. I don't even know how long it's been by now.
What do you mean? Do you know me?
Well, I don't know you, but I knew someone would be coming. Jack was never the type to limit his ambitions. He was gonna rope other people into this whole mess eventually. Anyways, I'm glad I finally found you. Now we can move on to the next step.
Hold on, I don't think you get why I'm here. I've been looking for you, and now that I found you, we gotta find a way out of here, then meet back up with Nick and Ty.
I already know how to leave. That's not the issue.
What? You've been able to leave this place the whole time, but just chose not to? Are you serious? Do you have any idea how much everyone has risked to find you?
I know. I'm sorry.
Sorry isn't gonna cut it. I put myself at risk for you, for nothing.
You didn't have to, you know. No one asked you to help us.
You know what? You're right. There's no reason for me to help any of you. But now, this is personal. Now I'm involved, and I'm gonna make sure Jack regrets it. Where the hell is this exit anyways?
It's over here. Follow me.
What? How is this here?
This is different than the gateway you saw before. That gateway used positive spatial compression. This uses negative.
Huh?
So you know how the gateway you went through was bigger on the inside than on the outside?
Yeah?
This works the exact opposite. You see, when you take the expanded internal space and you reverse it in on itself, it becomes negative space. Think of it like a number line. Jack's gateway, you're moving right on the number line. You're increasing the volume of the space positively. With this gateway, you're moving to the left, which decreases the volume of the space. But let's say you go even further down the number line. Or in this case, if you had a gateway that was much larger than its counterpart. If that were to happen and someone traveled down it, the difference would need to be accounted for. After all, you can't just add or remove space entirely. In cases like that, you get flung back to zero.
Back to the origin world.
Exactly.
There is still one thing I'm confused about though. How did you hide the lever in your cell? There's no way Jack wouldn't have found it. And even more than that, I seriously doubt you had have predicted all of this happening the way that it did before you even entered the gateway.
Well, that's the thing. I didn't. You see, I've been through hundreds of worlds at this point, so it took me a while to get here. But after I found this place and the gateway inside of it, of course I went through. Except when I ended up back in the origin world, things were different.
What do you mean different?
Well, I don't really know. It's like I went back in time or something.
Hold up, back in time? This is beyond just a funky portal now. That has some serious implications.
I know, but it's important. So after I spawned back in, I looked around a bit and realized that the cells that Jack had made were still there. And knowing that Jack wouldn't stop his tyranny, I knew I had to come up with a plan. So I planted the lever in my cell and hoped that whoever joined the server next would find it. Which led you to Nick and Ty, then to the wilted forest at the end of the bridge, and then to me.
Wait, how did you know I would go to the wilted forest? From what Nick and Ty said, the bridge led to a random world.
It's complicated.
It always is, isn't it?
Look, this hasn't been easy for anybody, but if we want to stop Jack, we need to move on to the next step.
Wait, you know how to stop Jack?
I have an idea for what we can do, but I'm not 100% sure it'll work. Right now, it's our only chance of stopping him though, so we have to do it.
Well, let's hear it already. Not much else we can do right now.
We have to trap him in one of the worlds. His abilities only seem to exist in the bridge and in the gateway. So if we can open a new world, lure him in there, then lock it shut, he has no chance of coming back. Then he won't be able to hurt anybody else. We'll all be safe.
Well, okay, it sounds like this is our only shot. I guess it's time for me to do my thing then.
Wait, before you go, there's one more thing you need to know.
Yeah?
It's about where Jack gets his abilities. When we first opened the server, it was just the four of us, and things were actually really nice. But then the gateway opened and everything changed. Jack started talking about these sounds he would hear when no one else was on, and how there was this thing that would follow him and move just as he turned his head. He said it would make this awful sound, and it felt like his brain was being bashed over and over when he would hear it. Then, after about 3 days of this, Jack entered the gateway, something we all had agreed not to do. We hadn't seen him for at least 2 weeks before he showed up again. Then when he did, he was different. Something happened in there to turn him into what he is now. It's gotta be whatever entity he was talking about. So be careful, okay? There's no reason for something to happen to you too.
I will.
How are you back? You know what? No, it's fine. You know what they say. If you want something done, do it yourself.
You messed up, Jack.
Maybe.
Everyone's safe now. You just don't know it yet. But I already won.
You're forgetting one thing, Max. This is my domain! Within this place, I am unrivaled. Did you really think you stood a chance against me? That you could somehow outsmart me? Disgusting. In here, I am a king. I'm better than you in every way. I'm a god!
The Origin World. If I go there, Jack can't get me. No. It's been hard, really hard, but I refuse to let Jack hurt anybody else.
Come back here! I told you, Max. I'm smarter than you. I knew you would go to the end of the bridge. You're not the type to pick the safe route.
Where am I?
This is where it all happened. This is where I gained the ability to control the gateways. I figured it would be poetic. My beginning, your end.
Why should I listen to anything you have to say at this point? You don't have admin. You can't pull my information. You can't win here.
Oh, but I can. You see, when you joined the main server, I couldn't access anything you had initially. But the second you stepped foot in my gateway, it was over. You see, Max, I'm a part of the world now. My body couldn't handle the situation, but my mind, it continued to exist in here, in these worlds.
What do you mean your body couldn't handle it? What happened, Jack?
The sounds were awful and constant. I did what I had to do to make them stop. Now, let's end this. I already have everything I need.
And that's checkmate. You see, earlier in the footage, before I had taken the portal to Rosaline, I set up a win condition. Some of you may have noticed, but for those that didn't, let's back up a step. As I'm leaving to put the lever on the copper bulb, the bed I collected from Rosaline's cell is missing from my hotbar. This is because I set my spawn in the wilted forest. Now, obviously there's a lot going on with all of the spatial condensing and positive and negative volume. It's a lot. But at the end of the day, Minecraft still has its rules. That's what makes it the way it is, and that's what allows me to take a simple trick like setting my respawn somewhere and turn it into a win condition against an all-powerful foe. But there's still one thing left. Rosaline's plan was to lock Jack away. She figured I could lure him away to some world and trap him there. But the reality is that Jack is much stronger than we had thought. He can travel to almost any world at any time and no one can stop him. So Jack has to go.
What?
I told you I'd already won. You were just too caught up in your own ego to see that it was me leading you this whole time.
You think you've won? This is nothing. A minor setback at the most. What is that?
My trump card. Goodbye, Jack. And that was it. Whatever had been in the wilted forest had clearly been stronger than Jack, so it's all that I had. But to be honest, I still got really lucky. Yeah, in the end, I outsmarted Jack, but I needed a lot of help along the way to get there. So to Rosaline, to Nick and Ty, thank you. With your guys' help, we came out on top. We won. And to everyone else, I warn you, whatever made Jack into what he was is likely still out there. And at any point, it can open a gateway into your own world. So be careful. And if the time ever does come where a gateway does open, or some other strange phenomenon occurs in your world, well, you know who to call. Recently, I received an email from a Maria Archives. The email listed some instructions for me.
This is an automated message. Do not reply. Scheduled delivery date, June 9th, 2026. The embargo on archive set
Maria
has been lifted. You have been designated as a public observer for controlled release. Present the materials as provided. Do not alter the order. Subject
Maria Collins
participated in a series of environmental boundary experiments. The attached files are recorded results. Some continuity errors are expected. Begin with folder 1. Further instructions will follow once viewing begins.
Initially, I was unsure what to make of the email. Was this sent to me by mistake? I mean, there were already some errors, like the email being sent 4 months ahead of schedule. Regardless, I decided to take a look at the folder. The folder contains 5 videos, and upon viewing the first one, footage 1, we're presented with what seems to be an ordinary Minecraft world. The video starts off with a player named Tozers explaining how they made this Minecraft world with their friend, and that their friend said that they should record themselves playing on the server. Now, based off of the email, I'm forced to assume that this player is Maria Collins. Now, as to what her significance is yet to be decided. For now, just watch as she shows off her house as well as her own little bedroom. And then another player joins the server. Maria is quick to explain that this is her friend and goes down to meet him at the pathway between their houses. Maria explains to Noah that she's doing her first recording on the server. Noah then responded with saying that he is also recording. So this got me thinking, why was it exactly that Maria was the only one whose documents were being archived? And furthermore, why was it being withheld at all? But to find out those answers, we must continue to watch Maria's perspective, where the conversation turns to something else. Maria asks Noah to share his recording with her after they're all done today, which Noah then says, not yet, we gotta do everything first. And weirdly enough, Maria simply acknowledges. Now what they could be referring to, we still have no idea of, but they wrap up their conversation with Noah saying that he was going to go get some glowstone, which he seems to do as he walks off into the nether portal, marking the last time that we surely see Noah from Maria's perspective. Maria, back inside the confines of her own home, goes AFK for a bit, leaving a message for Noah simply saying, "Mom's calling, I'll be right back." But as night turns to day, something strange happens. Maria is disconnected by something called player state. Could this be Noah messing with her somehow? It seems unlikely, but furthermore, the kick message she sees isn't normal. You see, typically when a player is removed from the server in Minecraft, the message shown is kicked by operator. But here it says player state, which doesn't exist. So why? Well, we're soon to find out as Maria logs back onto the server to see that Noah isn't back yet. And after prompting him to respond multiple times in the chat and still receiving no response, Maria scours the island, inevitably going to the top of the lighthouse to get a vantage point, but still when finding nothing, Maria makes a decision to go into the nether portal. And this is where footage 1 ends. But picking back up on footage 2, we're taken to what seems to be immediately after Maria's journey through the nether portal, as we can still hear the sound playing in the background. Except where Maria is now doesn't seem to be the nether at all. No, it looks far different.
Noah? Where the hell am I? Noah, are you here? Noah, I'm getting off. I'll be on tomorrow. My mom needs me, and this is freaking me out a little.
And this is where footage 2 ends. We're left not exactly sure what to think about what's going on in the world. Usually by this point we'd be given some clues at least, something to solve, to decipher in order to reach some sort of conclusion on what's exactly going on here. But as far as this footage goes, there's absolutely nothing. Now, the next video in the folder is a different story. The third video in the folder, titled Where Am I?, starts us back in the shoes of Maria as we watch her navigate her way. Wait. For less than a second on the far right corner, we're able to see what seems to be at first some sort of screen tear, but upon closer inspection, that's not what it is at all. You see, a screen tear usually limits itself to a certain section of the screen. However, this screen tear, as it first seemed to be, moves with Maria. So what are we looking at exactly? Some sort of glitch within the game itself? Or is it something more sinister than that? Maybe it's something watching our protagonist from beyond the darkness. Regardless, Maria doesn't seem to notice it and simply continues to ask Noah if he's on the server today, which after opening the tab list, he does seem to be. After once again receiving no response, Maria continues through the library for quite a while. That is until this happens. Complete fear takes over as Maria realizes that every sound that she makes, every footstep, every torch placed, is playing twice, which continues until Maria strays further and further into the library, as if she's being guided somewhere. Our protagonist then runs into the issue of running out of torches, as being blind in a place like this can be damning. Thankfully, they do have some wood and cobblestone on them to make a furnace and smelt charcoal, temporarily fixing their torch issue. Eventually, however, Maria yet again runs into the same problem, where she is then forced to move a single torch over and over. Suddenly, Maria seems to be in a completely new environment. No sign of the seemingly endless astral library anywhere in sight. In front of her are 3 doors. The left encrusted with skulks saying trust above it. The middle encased in chiseled bookshelves and empty lecterns with a sign saying love. And the last on the right being clad in golden blocks and blackstone saying greed. However, upon opening each of the doors, they have very different outcomes. The left and center door have portal blocks behind them. However, the greed door has nothing behind it. Now, as to why this is currently unknown. And our protagonist doesn't seem to have a much better idea either, which she exclaims in chat either to us or to Noah. But after taking a closer look at the bookshelves around the room, Maria finds something interesting. Maria finds a book, and not just any book, but the Book of Orpheus and Eurydice, an ancient Greek myth relating to love and sorrow. Maria seems to be familiar with the text, also correctly identifying it as a Greek myth. She exclaims that she doesn't know what it has to do with where the hell she's at, but she opens the book and retells their story. Orpheus and Eurydice. Orpheus was a musician whose songs could calm storms and move stone. He loved Eurydice. On their wedding day, Eurydice fled a threat and was bitten by a serpent, where she died. Orpheus refused to accept it. He descended into the underworld. Before Hades and Persephone, he played a song so mournful that even the dead fell silent. So they offered him a bargain. Eurydice may follow him out, but Orpheus must walk ahead, and he must not look back until they both reach the surface. Near the exit, he turned. For one moment, he saw her. Then Eurydice was pulled away into the darkness, where Orpheus was left alone. What Maria concludes from the story and its placement within the library is that Orpheus made his decision because he didn't trust Hades to fulfill his side of the bargain. So last second, he looked back.
I'm not even really sure how you could get greed out of that. So, do I go through the trust door?
And yet again, that's where the footage ends. It seems that Maria, after reading the story and making a conclusion about why Orpheus turned back, took one last look around the room and went through the door of trust. But this does still leave a couple of questions. Like, why was there no portal behind the door of greed? And was Noah in the same room as Maria at some point? Well, as far as the portal, I believe we got our answer with the last few frames of the video. As Maria goes through the portal, just at the very end, we hear a sound. This is the sound that plays whenever a portal block is broken, which makes it safe to conclude that the portal breaks after someone uses it. So who was it that used the greed portal? Was it Noah? And if so, is he going to the same place that Maria is? Well, in our next video, we may find the answers that we're looking for. The video starts out with Maria in yet another strange dimension, this time looking much more ominous than before, as Maria herself is quick to state.
This place is so creepy, dude.
She seems to be in some sort of infinite world consisting of large slabs of stone, with her only way to progress requiring her to sometimes jump incredibly large gaps, making the situation incredibly dangerous. All it would require is one slip up, and into the void she would go.
Well, that was close.
Maria continues to travel for a few more minutes, hopping from structure to structure, a few times just barely making the jump. And eventually, she comes across something strange. Maria looks up in awe at what appears to be a multi-branching staircase that leads to, well, we don't know. However, I expect that we'll soon find out, as without hesitation, Maria instantly starts building out towards the structure. Now, the exact reasoning as to why something like this could exist in this world to begin with is already lost to me. However, it's very clear that so far Maria has been somewhat led and directed here. Noah? For the very first time since getting lost in the nether portal, Noah seemed to type something into the chat, which Maria is quick to respond to, though yet again receiving no response herself. Now, this raises a couple of questions. Does this mean that Noah has been able to respond to Maria this entire time? If so, then why hasn't he? And if not, then what's been preventing him? Regardless, Maria continues to climb up the staircase, which doesn't exactly seem to be, well, flawlessly designed to say the least. It contorts in odd ways, only ever branching out or up, but rarely is it a complete staircase, causing Maria to have to build up and break blocks to even continue her journey upward. And furthermore, it only seems to get worse as she gets closer to the top, which after some time she eventually does do, as she's faced with this.
Noah? Is that you?
With this video coming to an end, Maria is seemingly reunited back with Noah, but only for a moment as he's seen leaving through a massive portal, almost as if he's trying to evade Maria. But why? What reason does Noah have to lead her all this way? Well, Maria's journey is soon to be at an end as we go into the final video in the drive. Starting out, we see Maria walking on some sort of path, with massive towers sprouting out to connect them all. They don't seem to be individually distinct, but... Wait, we aren't watching Maria? Then who? For some reason, we've switched to Noah's POV, but what's even stranger than that is that he's with Maria, and furthermore, they seem to be quite comfortable right now, almost as if they've been traveling together for some time now. Anyways, they continue their conversation with Maria questioning how long Noah has been here, and to that, Noah simply responds that he doesn't know, but it feels like it's been weeks, and to that, Maria says that it's only been a couple of days.
Are you sure? Yes, Noah. Okay.
Noah and Maria continued their journey forward, looking around in awe at the massive towering stone structures, path after path, bridge after bridge, and tower after tower, until...
Okay, I think we have to drop here. Just one level. Be careful. Hold on now. You stay here for a second.
Noah's been keeping notes on Maria this whole time, but how? He hasn't even been with her most of the time. None of this is really making sense so far. When did Maria meet back up with Noah? Why are they so friendly? And why is Noah taking notes of Maria? Noah then adds another entry to his journal, saying that the subject seems to be cooperative thus far, and I can only assume that he's referring to Maria.
Come on, Toes. Okay. go earlier anyways. What do you mean? After the library, remember? I followed you. That's not what happened. Maria, that's not what happened. How do you know my name?
And that's where the footage ends. This video opened up a lot of questions for us, so we're just gonna rapid fire go through all of them really quick. First off, as I had already questioned, why is it that Noah's taking notes of Maria? Is that how he found out her name? By stalking her? To be honest, I assume that he already knew, but I guess not. I suppose that would take us back to the very beginning, where she stated that Noah was the one that said that she should start recording her POV, but she never elaborated how or why they started talking. Was this some sort of plan that Noah had made in order to get to know Maria somehow for some malicious purpose? Maybe, maybe not, but what I do know is that Noah did leave something behind. You see, back when he was going through his notes on Maria, he left something, a code for whoever was supposed to watch this footage before me. You see, I'm assuming that because this footage was sent to me so early, it completely missed the vetting process, which explains why things like Noah's footage was still in the folder. Anyways, if we look back at the footage containing Noah's notes on Maria, we notice a clear pattern where each page is separated by 3 distinct parts. And if we take the first letter of each of those parts, we get this, which isn't anything by itself, but after deciphering it as if it was an alphabet cipher, this string of numbers comes out, which to me looks like an IP. And after trying it, it appears I was right. I had to move quick. I knew that if I was ever caught on the server, I would be banned and there would be no way of me ever finding out what happened to Maria or Noah for that matter. So the first thing that I did was I checked their houses. And after looking at Noah's, it appeared to be completely empty, which was weird because based off of Maria's house, they've been playing on the server for some time now. Anyways, I continued to look around Maria's house for a few minutes. I checked her room and the balcony, which appeared the same as it did in Maria's footage, except on the first floor, I found something interesting. Both of the back doors and what I can only assume to be an attempt at a basement door were all cut in half. As to why this is, I don't know, but it only got worse as I went outside, where a chest was sitting and inside of it, a compass, and not just any compass, but a lodestone compass, which was pointing directly away from the house. So I followed it, and eventually it led me to a village. I looked around the village for a few minutes, and looked, but nothing. I couldn't find anything. I mean, I didn't even know who left the compass in the chest. Maybe it was just supposed to lead to the village. Regardless, I did want to find the actual lodestone that it pointed to, so I kept looking. And after a few more minutes, the rapid change in the compass's direction led me to believe that the lodestone was probably underground. So I changed my focus from the houses to nearby hills and cave entrances. And I noticed that this hill in particular had the dirt sort of unnaturally placed against the wall. So of course, I tried to break it to see if there was anything behind it, and there was. The entrance opened up into what appeared to be a huge library, but as I take a look around, while it looks beautiful and definitely unique for sure, most of it seemed a little empty or cleared out. Well, everything except for a lectern right in the middle of the library. The lectern contained a book that said Maria Archives on it, with a new drive link. Upon opening the drive, we're faced with just one file, a single PDF, called the Parhelion Dossier, and upon opening it, What the hell? Infinite encrypted text. Parhelion internal dossier. Level 3 eyes only. What we were looking at is a massive document, bringing light to whatever this organization was and its intentions with Maria. I mean, she had an entire page dedicated with her. Page after page after page of information, tests, and trials. But right now we're going to tackle the important parts of this document. So obviously we weren't supposed to have access to this, and they made it pretty easy for us, giving us a full table of contents. And right off the bat on the first page, it talks about astral domains. A subject declares an interpretation, often aloud, and the domain classifies the subject accordingly. And I believe we can see this through the first major puzzle with Orpheus and Eurydice, where Maria chose the door of truth based off of her interpretation of the story, which it even talks about here, Case Maria. Subject Maria Collins, handle toaster, which they're actually wrong about. Subject Maria Collins entered phase 4 through a portal misroute and encountered an archive chamber, presenting a tri-door classification event, referencing the 3 doors. Liaison, it's known as 0, which we'll get to in a minute, was used as a social stabilizer and later removed to induce threshold selection. Subject proceeded into deeper archive space, continuing degradation increased. Subject is currently assessed as integrated. Now, on this next part, they talk about the organization itself. Parhelion. And right here it talks about their goals, where it says internally Parhelion focuses on 3 capabilities: threshold engineering, locating and stabilizing exits that do not route to expected destinations; the continuity of science, measuring how cognition persists when the world contradicts itself, so essentially comprehending things that just shouldn't make sense; and record systems, capturing movement as artifacts the environment can replay. So I guess all those libraries were supposed to be different records of the dimensions. Maybe that's where Maria was initially, in that library dimension. Now, moving on, it talks about the trials themselves. Program brief, astral navigation trials, or ANT. ANT is designed to answer a practical question: can a human navigate astral space without losing continuity? The second question is more important: what kinds of people remain intact and why? And I guess Maria was their first, or at least one of their testing experiments. And then it talks about all these different phases where it just essentially just gets worse and worse, until essentially at phase 6, where I was supposed to step in, but I came in early. Now we get into the interesting stuff. Recruitment and liaison protocols. Recruitment model. Parhelion recruits through ordinary contact chains, friend-to-friend introductions, collaboration offers, recording projects, and curiosity-driven invitations. So it seems pretty limited and hand-selected as to who can be a liaison, which, as referred to earlier, is what Noah was, and if we keep looking, it talks about what they exactly do. So liaison doctrine. Liaisons are trained to be normal. They must not appear sinister, authoritative, or over-informed. Primary duties: maintain rapport and keep the subject recording. Anchor the subject in casual conversation during drift, which I believe drift is the time in between the astral planes. Introduce thresholds as accidents, not goals, and disappear at a controllable point to induce urgency without explicit threat. So this is what Noah did to actually get Maria into the portal. Now it talks about Maria herself. It talks about all her personal information: her name, her handle, which is actually incorrect here. I wonder how they messed that up. I'm not entirely sure. And her assigned liaison, it's Noah. Now, it's clear from all this that everything involving Maria here was incredibly malicious. Whether it was done for some sort of science experiment or simply just for the curiosity of the organization itself, it's clear that the damage to Maria is now irreversible, and she's probably stuck wandering the astral planes themselves. Wandering forever. No matter what's going on, never trust the blocks. This is the first line that I found in a book in an old chest in an abandoned Minecraft server. See, a few days ago, one of my friends hit me up. He told me that there was some Discord server that he got into. And apparently, inside the Discord server, there's some bot that when entering your Minecraft username, whitelists you on an old Minecraft server. But here's the thing. The server had apparently been shut down by Mojang, but now it was somehow back up. After hearing this, I was of course super interested. So I asked him how I could get into the server. Unfortunately, the invite link didn't seem to work anymore, but thankfully, Cal was kind enough to set up everything for me. So after entering my username and sending me the IP, I was ready. Well, that's what I thought, at least. After loading onto the server for the first time, I realized two things immediately. One is that there was floating grass everywhere, which by all means should have gotten destroyed by the Minecraft physics engine. And second is that I was immediately placed in adventure mode, making me completely unable to break any blocks. There was also a bulletin board placed in front of what seemed like some sort of base. On it, there were two signs asking for someone to get more iron and to clear some zombies that were left in the mine. So I started looking around a bit to get a good idea of the surrounding area. And after just a couple minutes, I found some sort of wooden structure. Maybe the mine that they were talking about? Okay, they said that there were zombies in there, so I'm not going to take a look around just yet, but I think the surrounding area still needs a little bit of a look around. I don't know what it is with the server, but like the fog is insane. These chunks not loading? Oh. Wait, I don't think there's any chunks here at all. I think this is just where it cuts off. Look, there's still water floating over there, so that means that if it's flowing, this is where the world ends. After discovering that I was basically on a floating island, I decided to stick closer to the main base and start my investigation there. The first thing I noticed after entering the house is that there were 4 separate rooms, each with a sign above the entrance showing whose it was. Well, all except one. Somehow, blocks in the room with no name had been corrupted, which usually has to do with some sort of chunk loading error or a modding compatibility. But neither of those seemed to be the case here. If it was a chunk loading error, then we wouldn't be able to interact with the front door, which would have prevented us from even entering the building at all. And it can't be a modding compatibility issue either, because the server is completely vanilla. So that leaves us with only one option. There's been an intentional data manipulation on the server, which means that someone was probably trying to cheat in items, likely whoever stayed in this room. Okay, bro. I don't want to touch these blocks. Right in here, we just got some building materials, and then... What the hell? Bro, it's just a bunch of almost broken items, man. Okay, what do we got here? So there's stone swords, pickaxes, axes, and... shovel. Huh. Okay. All right, let me get my notebook and actually figure this out and start writing some of this down. So, tools... durability, they're all stone. I don't know if that has any significance, but I'm gonna write it down anyways. There's 4 tools, like there's no like hoe or anything. It's just sword, pickaxe, axe, and shovel. Okay, so 4 tools. All of them are orange or in the red for durability, almost broken. Wait. The durability. Wait, hold on. I think it's F3H. Yeah, advanced tooltip shown. Okay, now I should be able to see the durability. Okay, 1, 2, 6, 10. Wait, these don't go over like 30 something. Okay, this one's got a 30. I don't know what this means. I think this has something to do with like the durability of the weapons. Whoever left this here obviously wanted there to be some sort of message, something encrypted that like only someone smart enough would actually be able to figure out. Huh. But why even encrypt it? This find opened up 2 things. One is that someone was obviously trying to hide something from some of the other players on the server. And 2 is that whatever it is that is clearly being hidden here had to be something that was worth hiding in the first place. But before we get into that, let's backtrack a little bit. Earlier in the recording, in Faye's room, I found a book. Okay, Faye's room. Book. No matter what's going on, never trust the blocks. They aren't always what they appear to be. Sometimes they change without you or anyone else doing anything. That's what we thought, at least. By the way, if you want the rest of my stuff, go to -390, 40. So we learn a few things from this book. Apparently, something's wrong with the blocks in this world, which already has been pretty apparent thus far. But more importantly is what's on the second page. Faye, or whoever placed this book in Faye's chest, left some coordinates where presumably some of her old loot was kept hidden. But what's weird about this is that the coordinates that were left are completely unable to be accessed in this current version of the world. You see, the coordinates are far outside where the world ends, which means 2 things. First is that the server wasn't always limited to the small floating island, and second, and more importantly, this book was written after the surrounding area had been removed, which creates a solid chronology that we can now base all of our future findings off of. Now, there was actually one more code aside from the durability cipher that was hidden throughout the base. In each of the chests in everyone's room, aside from the room with no name, there were 2 items of varying quantities. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, 10 items. Okay, the most logical thing is just order it by how many there are. Okay, there does seem to be like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 type thing going on. So if we do that, then it leaves us with this: dirt, orange wool, nether sprouts, this doesn't make any sense. Okay, this obviously seems to be some sort of cipher. Okay, let's see. So what do we have? Block. All these are blocks. Okay, then there's a normal item. Wait, the lettering. Okay, so dirt starts with a D. Let me get my notebook back out. Okay, if we take the first letter from each of these, we got DONTGODOWN. Okay, DONTGODOWN. Don't go down. Don't go down. Okay, what does that even mean? Don't go down. Like, oh. Trapdoor? Was this here before? I don't remember. Okay, we can open it, but I can't see what's down there. That's a cobblestone floor right there. And we can't break anything to get down there because we're in adventure mode still. Alright, I guess that's not accessible then. Now, while we may not be able to access the trapdoor, this clue does tell us that there's something possibly dangerous down there. Now, circling back to the durability cipher, we're left with this. Okay, so obviously these items aren't random. Their types have to matter. So for now, let's just assume that them being stone has no significance, and let's just look at the tools themselves. Right now, I'm thinking maybe the tools are some sort of symbol. Like, so if we look at a sword, this could be like a down and to the left type arrow, a pickaxe being like an up and to the right type arrow, an axe being a down to the right type arrow, but then we're still left with the shovel. So that makes that theory pretty much null. Also, if we think about it through the symbol route, then it still doesn't make a whole lot of sense because that still ignores the whole durability thing, which I'm pretty certain that the number for the durability has a lot of significance here. Now, because these only seem to generally go up to 26 outside of what seems to be just the stone shovel, I'm thinking that these have something to do with the alphabet, so lettering. Now, the stone shovel obviously being some sort of, random factor here, we can just sort of ignore for now. So let's just assume that the swords, pickaxes, and axes have something to do with lettering, the alphabet. The obvious solution here is we look at something like the stone sword, we see that it's a 1, and we just say it's an A. The issue here is when we start to get into the other tools. What's the difference between a sword saying 1 and a pickaxe saying 1? My first thought is that it probably has something to do with capitalization. So maybe the sword is a lowercase a and the pickaxe is maybe an uppercase B. However, once again, we still have the axe, which throws things off a bit. So if we already have uppercase letters and lowercase letters handled, then the most likely option is that this last tool represents, well, numbers. Now the thing with that is because the sword, pickaxes, and axes are all, in relative equal quantity, this can't decode into just another message unless it's a whole nother cipher, which means that it's also probably a link to something. So we'll write that down and we'll keep that in mind for now, but I think it's time for us to finally start decoding. So let's start with our first theory. Swords equals lowercase, pickaxe equals uppercase, and axes equals numbers. That still leaves us with a shovel, so for the sake of argument, let's just say shovel equals question mark. Okay, so I'm just gonna go through this really quick and decode what this would be. Okay, this way we have a 33 character code that just translates to this, and I'll just put that on screen here. Now, this looks like the ending sequence to a link to, well, pretty much anything. A YouTube video, a ChatGPT thread, a drive maybe, and without even knowing if this is the right code, like the pickaxe could mean numbers and the sword could mean uppercase letters, the potential for what this could mean seems pretty endless. So we have to narrow things down a bit. So for now, let's stick to what we know. So we can take this, put it at the end of a Google Drive link, and error. YouTube video maybe, also an error, and a ChatGPT link, also nothing. Now, what I think the important thing to remember here is that this is supposed to be decoded. This was obviously left here by somebody, maybe whoever stayed in this room, maybe whoever did this to the room, possibly the same person, but this is meant to be decoded. So I can't imagine that this is meant to go to some obscure website. I think by limiting ourselves to these 3 different websites, YouTube, ChatGPT, and Google Drive, I think that's where we're most likely to find something. So let's just decode this again, but switch out what the tools represent. This time I'm thinking we use the sword as a number, the pickaxe as the lowercase letter, and the axe as the uppercase letter. I'm also going to try switching the character for the shovel around. It could be something like a slash or an underscore maybe. So yeah, I'm just going to continue decoding this over and over and over until we have something actually tangible. Okay, so after sitting here for an uncomfortable amount of time, I think I found something. Yeah, so it was a drive link. This ended up being the full link, and it led me to somewhere called the Chaos SMP, which contains a video called Day 4. Now, this all obviously had me asking more than a few questions. Who made this drive? Are they the same person that lived in the room with the corrupted blocks? Why hide this footage to begin with? And what exactly is the Chaos SMP? After opening the footage, we seem to be watching from the perspective of whoever lived in the room at the end of the hallway at the top floor. Something's already wrong. This version of the bulletin board is not the same that we found when we logged onto the server. And what's even stranger is that this version of the bulletin board seems to take place after the one that we found. And that's where the footage ends. But there may have been a couple of things that you missed. So going back to earlier in the footage, 3 things are made apparent aside from the bulletin board anomaly. First, as I'm sure you already noticed, the player's name is blacked out in the chat. Now, this could be used just to protect this player's information, though I find that unlikely because, as far as we know, the only way to even access this footage is through the durability cipher that we found on the server. And everyone that had access to the server would be able to see this player's name anyways. Also, our cameraman here seemed friendly enough with his neighbor to steal from her, so they likely already knew each other personally anyways. So then, why black out your name? Who are you trying to hide yourself from? Right now, we don't know. But what's even more concerning than this is what I found next. If we go back to after the torches were snuffed out in the mine, on our cameraman's trip back home, there seems to be someone watching him from the upstairs window. But who? And what's even weirder is that when we continue the footage, it's as if nobody was ever there. So who is this mysterious figure? Did he have anything to do with the torches going out in the mine? Again, things seem unclear. The last thing that we're given before our cameraman logs off is this. Someone has been in Faye's room. We know this because at the start of the footage, there wasn't this 16 cobblestone in the chest. Aside from this, there's not much more to pick apart from the footage. And seeing as it was getting late and my brain was absolutely fried from solving all these different ciphers all day, I decided to log off and just leave the rest for tomorrow. I woke up early the next day, hoping to get a head start on my investigation. Except, as I go to log onto the server, I'm met with this. A message. You'll never find him. He's gone now. Was this message intended for me? As far as I know, I'm the only person that's been on the server in quite some time. And I'm not even sure who he is, so could this really be for me? And that's not all. The server profile icon has also changed. It seems to be text of some kind. So after taking a screenshot of it and translating it to English, we're given this. Help me. Immediately, this message strikes me as odd because it gives the exact opposite stance that the server message did. It's almost as if the server icon's message and the actual server message were created by two different people. As we go on, our questions only seem to multiply more and more. So today, we need to make sure that we're getting the answers that we're after, or we might never find out what happened on this server. As I load into the server, the first thing that I notice is that the bulletin board has changed again. This time, it only has the messages about the iron, the zombies in the mine, and... wait. The griefer? I can't believe I didn't notice it before. Back in the footage that we found when our cameraman was looking at the bulletin board, there was a new sign asking the other players on the server to get rid of the griefer. Could this griefer be whoever was watching our cameraman on his way home? Well, this all got me thinking, what else have I missed? So I went back and not only went over the footage in the drive again, but also my own footage. And right at the beginning of my recording, I found something. As I run by in the lower left corner, there's a dark figure staring at me. But how didn't I notice him? And why did it not show him as online? After all, it showed the server having 0 other players both before and after I logged on the first time. So who is this player? Is he the griefer on the server? Is he the same person that was watching our cameraman in the footage that we found? We'll get our answers soon enough. But for now, we need to take note of another change to the bulletin board. You see, this one doesn't exactly match either of the other two that we've already seen. No, this one takes place after the one that we found and before the one in the footage. So now our job is to fill in the blanks. What happened on the server in between the footage that we found and our experience so far? After entering the base, I immediately searched all the rooms. This time they seemed actually lived in. They had blocks, food, normal stuff that players would keep in their chests. Well, everyone except Ben, who for some reason had both chests completely empty. Apart from this, there were 2 other massive changes to the world. One is that the surrounding area seemed to have been recovered. No more corrupted chunks. That means that we can venture out to the coordinates that Faye had left in her book and find whatever it was that she had left in her stash. Aside from this, there was one other big change in the base. Finally, we're given a name. Mikey, our cameraman, and the player that lived at the end of the hall on the top floor, the room with the corrupted blocks. After entering Mikey's room, things immediately looked different. No corrupted blocks, the chest in the corner that previously had the durability cipher was gone, and this. 32 candles, a broken elytra, 64 feathers, and a booking quill. At first glance, these items seem to have no correlation to one another. But after further inspection, the true meaning becomes difficult to ignore. This is an obvious reference to Icarus from Greek mythology, whose cautionary tale of flying too close to the sun is often used as an analogy for greed. So was this a threat of some kind? A warning? Well, after opening and reading the book, things become more clear.
I know what you've been up to. Stop now or there will be consequences.
Okay, well, it's definitely a threat, but why? Did Mikey do something? And who is it that he's pissed off enough to warrant leaving a message like this in his room? Right now, our best course of action is to venture out to Faye's cache. Maybe there we'll finally get some of the answers that we're looking for.
Stop looking for him. He is gone. He's not coming back. Don't play dumb, Alex. You have no power here anymore. The server is mine. Give up.
What? Who the hell is Benji? Ben? I thought that the server had been abandoned, but I guess not. It's obvious now, looking at them side by side, that this is the same person that was stalking Mikey. And their disappearance during the footage makes a lot more sense now too. Ben is the griefer. He's the one that's been corrupting the world. At first, I thought that it might have been Mikey. I mean, after all, the corrupted blocks were in his room. But now, I'm starting to think that Ben did something to Mikey. Our only hope now is that Faye somehow knew about all of this. So we continue on to her cache. All right, so we're pretty much at the chords. It's like a little bit in this direction over here. There doesn't seem to be anything right here though. Negative 390.40, so that's exactly here. But there's nothing. I wonder if Ben's gotten to it already. I mean, like, this has been on the server for a while. Wait, there's something wrong with this lava pool. This isn't naturally generated. I'm thinking that there might be something underneath the lava. There's a missing lava block right there. There's definitely something down there. Someone interacted with this. But if we're wrong, then we could lose everything. Our spawn resets. We have no idea what's going to happen. I think we just have to risk it. Oh no. Oh! Pool. Is this what we were meant to find? Is this Faye's cache? There's nothing here. Except the book. The library has been destroyed. I'm leaving now. There's no hope for us anymore. I'm sorry I couldn't save you, Mikey. What? That's it? After all this? This is all that's left? It looks like Ben's gotten to it almost. Like it's completely destroyed and empty. Wait. Carpets. I knew it! Okay, what happened to... What the hell? Okay, I'll just follow this, I guess. Oh my lord. The hell is this place, dude? Look. I can't take this anymore. Mikey is gone. Alex hasn't been online for months. Ben has gone completely mad with power. How the hell is he even doing all of this? I wish things could go back to the way that they were before everything started. Before Ben had control. Before I had to solve all of these puzzles just to survive. I miss you so badly, Mikey. I never would have thought that things would end up this way. You should have just told me what Ben was up to. Why did he make me go through all of this? I can't stay here anymore. There's nowhere else to go. Now all that I'm left with is the sorry memories of what once was. Goodbye. A link. So it seems that Mikey had been making all of these ciphers for Faye, slowly showing her the truth of who Ben really was. But by the time that she found out, it was already too late. Mikey was gone. Corrupted. But that's nothing compared to what I'm about to show you. After opening the link, we're taken to a photo where Mikey, Ben, and likely Faye are standing, except they're not alone. Cal? Cal is Alex? I mean, I thought that it was strange that he hit me up on Discord out of the blue after we hadn't talked in forever. And it was weird that I couldn't get invited to the Discord server, but I didn't think anything of it at the time. But as hard as all of this is to believe, it does make sense. From what we can tell from Faye's journal, Alex had been gone for months. And during all of that time, Ben has somehow figured out how to cheat on the server, corrupting it all the while. Corrupting Mikey. After corrupting Mikey's player data, he had become a ghost on the server. And that's why it never showed him as online when he was watching me before. That's who was reaching out to us through the server icon. Of course. As Mikey started catching on to Ben, Mikey became a target, with Ben first giving him the warning in his chest, comparing him to Icarus, saying that Mikey was flying too close to the sun, getting too close to the truth. So when Mikey reached out to us, the language that we had to translate it from was Greek, playing into Ben's characterization of him. Mikey was leading us to him, but that still leaves a few questions unanswered. What's with the timeline on the server? How do we keep going back and forth in time? And the bigger question, what's under the trap door? After finding the book, I logged off the server and sent Cal a message. This isn't over.
Hello, Max. Your investigation on the server has not gone unnoticed. First off, I would like to applaud you for your findings thus far. You have already made it farther than I would have initially thought. So far that I will reward you with an additional piece of information. The server is still corrupted. There is no changing that. If you want to help me uncover what happened, you must figure out a way to get around the system. I will contact you again soon.
This message was sent to me soon after I had uncovered one of Minecraft's biggest mysteries. See, a few weeks ago, I received a message. The message talked about a Minecraft server that had supposedly gotten shut down for suspicious activity. However, after mysteriously coming back up, I was sent to investigate it. And after logging onto the server, I was faced with puzzles galore. Missing chunks, ciphers I've never seen before, disturbing footage, and much, much worse. Also, this is a continuation of another video, so if you're interested in the full story, I would highly recommend checking the first video out first. Anyways, after dozens of hours of detective work, I had finally found my way to an abandoned library where I had found this. It turns out the entire time I was being controlled and directed by the man that sent me on this investigation to begin with. After finding this out, I sent him a final message telling him that we needed to talk. And after weeks of waiting, that brings us back to today. So where exactly does that leave us? Well, first off, we still haven't found out what's underneath the trapdoor, which according to whoever made the item cipher from last time, likely Mikey, seemed to be quite important. Additionally, Faye's journal still doesn't make a lot of sense either. Sure, there have been instances where the blocks on the server have been weird to say the least, but nothing so far that would make me not trust them, as she says. And lastly, and the most concerning to me, is the timeline on the server. Because the text and the signs on the bulletin board seem to be continuously changing to before and after the requested tasks are completed, we can infer that the version of the world that we last played on wasn't the most recent. So here's our mission. Find a way to get past the trapdoor and find out what it is that was worth hiding to begin with. And after that, we need to find any possible clues that may reveal what's going on with the timeline on the server. But there's an issue. After logging back onto the server and looking around the library a bit, there doesn't seem to be any apparent exit. The way that we got in originally was through a one-way falling lava pool, so that's not an option. And the library itself seems to be a completely sealed box, so what do we do? Well, there is one thing that might help us get out. Next to the lectern that we found Faye's last journal in is a chest. Inside the chest is a random assortment of items, mostly blocks. Now, this already raises a few questions. Is this even a cipher? If it is, then why did Faye put it here? The real library seemed hidden from Ben anyways, so why continue the secrecy? Okay, so Faye obviously left this here for, I guess, us. I mean, somebody was definitely anticipated to be finding this. That's why she left the book. In the book, she's talking to Mikey. I mean, she says, like, I miss you so badly, Mikey, but I wonder if it's just her being in grief and just saying that, or what. Now, as far as the chest goes, the items in here seem to be some sort of code for something. Now, the main giveaway here is the fact that there are 2 oak planks and 2 oak leaves that are placed separately instead of in a stack. So they definitely have to mean something. Now, as to what they could mean, we don't know yet. But we could decipher the same way we did the last item cipher, and we just take the first letter from each of these items. But if we do that, we get this. And even after mixing around all the letters, assuming it's some sort of anagram, or using any type of Caesar cipher, we still get, well, nothing. So if the names don't have any significance, then what are we left with? Well, numbers. You see, each item in Minecraft is assigned a specific number unique to it called an item ID. And when we take the item IDs from each of these blocks, we're given this. An 11 number string that at first glance means seemingly nothing. But after treating this as an alphabet cipher and turning each number into its corresponding place in the alphabet, then taking those letters and rearranging them, we're given this. Under the arc. Now, this can only be talking about one thing. Throughout the library, there are 5 stone brick arcs that at first seem to be just another aspect of the room. But now we're being told by Faye that there's more to them than that. So I take a closer look at the arches. I look for any compartments, buttons, anything that could possibly reveal something. And then this happened. Another book. 164. Another clue? For someone who is seemingly so upset with the constant ciphers that Mikey had been leaving for them, Faye does seem to use them a lot. And why? It doesn't look like Ben has found this place yet, so what's the...
So this is where Faye has been hiding everything. It's clear to me now that you aren't Alex. He's far too cowardly to come back here. And he wouldn't have made it this far anyways. So, I'm giving you one chance. Don't come back.
We don't have much time. Ben found the library, and we still have one more clue left. If we don't get to the bottom of this today, we may never know what happened on the server. Now I get why Faye continued to leave her messages in code. She knew that Ben would be following us like he did Mikey. I thought that Mikey had been smart for leaving a trail for Faye to follow, but Faye seems to be in a whole league of her own when it comes to guessing Ben's moves. It looks like I bought some time by making Ben think that I was leaving the server for good, but we have to move quick before he comes back and realizes that it was a trick. Okay, this is the last part of the library that we just haven't fully explored. I mean, we had the little hopper thing to open the door from last time, but anything else, I mean, or the bookshelves, I suppose. Okay, let's sit and think for a sec. The last thing that we were given by Faye was a book, and in the book it says, wait, 164. How many slots do we have here? Each chiseled bookshelf in Minecraft has 6 separate slots that you're able to place a book into. So with 32 bookshelves, that gives us 192 slots, putting slot 164 right here. What the hell was I looking at? That's all that was going through my mind as I stared up at whatever the hell this was. At first I thought that it might be some sort of shrine. Ben has certainly made himself out to be some sort of god, and if it is a shrine, it's certainly not like any shrine that I've seen before. Something is here. We don't know if it's the same thing that's asking us for help, but whatever it is, it doesn't seem friendly. And after opening the chest, we're met with a new mystery. An ender pearl? And the name on it, when translated, is shown to be Greek, the language Mikey has been using to communicate with us. The pearl reads as, "Use wisely." Is this our way into the trapdoor? Maybe, but we still have to get out of wherever the hell we are, and do it while avoiding whatever attacked us before. Okay, what is going on? First off, I don't remember seeing that hole in the middle of the obsidian structure the first time around. And what's with the blocks changing the second that I look away? It almost feels like I'm being controlled, led somewhere. Okay, so being stuck in a maze is obviously never a good thing. It looks so weird too. It's like very like windy, and I don't know. I don't really like trust like these angled hallways and such. And you know, something else that I'm thinking about that didn't really cross my mind at first is like proportion wise, it doesn't make sense for this to be here at all. I mean, like the obsidian structure thing, it was not that long. Like, it's not long enough to contain this, and as far as I know, we didn't go down or anything. But when blocks are changing and, you know, things are moving around, I don't really think rational physics, Minecraft physics is, on the table. I continued to explore the maze for about another 30 minutes, finding nothing but dead ends or long hallways until I found this. The hell? Wait, this is the house from the start. No trapdoor here. Rooms are empty. Wait, there aren't even signs on the doors this time. What the hell? Okay, phase room. An iron ingot? We'll hold on to that, I guess. And Mikey's room. This is the only one that's a double chest. Wait! The durability cipher again. Last time, one of the most crucial ways that Mikey had relayed his information to me was through a durability cipher. A cipher where the durability number of a pickaxe was equal to a lowercase letter, an axe an uppercase letter, and a sword was the number itself. And the last time that this was used, I was brought to a drive link that had revealed some disturbing footage. That footage, however, brought me closer to the truth, and now it seems like Mikey is yet again trying to communicate with me via the same type of cipher. So assuming that it's using the same conversions as before, you know, like the axe being like the uppercase letter and the pickaxe being the lowercase letter, this translates to this. We have been here all along. Who is we? The four of them? Mikey, Faye, Alex, and Ben? So this got me thinking, what exactly was Mikey trying to tell me? Okay, to me, it just seems like we're getting clue after clue after clue, and we're not getting any of the answers that we actually want. I mean, we have the Ender Pearl now. We have a way to get, like, down and through the trap door, but what are we going to find down there? I mean, there's still really no way that we're actually going to be able to tell until we do it. And then there's the blocks on the server, like little stuff like this, the floating grass over there, this, the blocks. Okay, what is happening? We seem to have gone back to the start somehow, but it's different. The obsidian cubes are back inside the mega structure and the chest is gone. Also, again with the blocks disappearing. Now what Faye wrote in her journal is starting to make more sense. Something is happening with the server and it's causing the blocks to glitch out and disappear. But what's causing it? And when we find out, will we even be able to stop it?
I told you not to come back. Now, you will join them in the loop.
Ben is back. But how? The server showed me to be the only player online. Is he able to conceal himself somehow? And how long has he been following us for? Since the library? Before then? I don't know, but this got me thinking. Was Ben behind all of the strange activities with the blocks? So I went back, and every time that I looked away and the blocks changed, just for a split second, an effect flickers across my screen. It happens while approaching the obsidian cube, then twice within it. The same effect that happens whenever Ben joins the server. So was Ben leading me this whole time to this? To some sort of loop? I'm still not sure, but the only way to get the answers we want is by moving ahead.
Hi, I've been a fan of ARGs for a while now, so I've been looking around to see if I could find something interesting. It's taken me a bit, but I think I finally found something, well, different. I can't exactly put my finger on what it is, but something about this channel just feels off. The only thing that I've looked into so far is the description of the video. The warning seems off. I thought maybe the letters could decipher into some sort of link, but I couldn't find anything. I'm hoping that you'll have better luck.
Initially, I passed this message off as another dead-end ARG, something I would spend hours looking into only to find nothing. However, after spending some time to delve into the secrets hiding behind this seemingly innocent Minecraft video, I can say for certain that this video is the start of something more than just simply different. Starting out with Let's Play number 1, we're introduced to two people. They start off with their intro explaining that they've been having a lot of fun playing Minecraft together, and they thought it would be fun to start a Let's Play. Initially, the first thing we're looking for is any inconsistencies. Obsession, the person that messaged us, seemed adamant that something was off, but upon first glance, there's nothing. Just two players trying to have fun together.
Anyways, we've only been playing for a couple of days now. We just finished our base last night. You wanna show them around, Katie?
Sure.
Immediately, the first impression that I'm getting here is that Arrow and Katie are particularly close, which is seen in the description of the video as it reads,
Hi, this is just a little Let's Play series my girlfriend and I wanted to start. Throughout the series, we make cool builds, explore our world, and just overall have a lot of fun. If you guys want to see the series continue, please like and subscribe.
Again, nothing too weird. The description seems innocent enough, but maybe it's not. Regardless, we'll get back to that later as Arrow and Katie continue to show us around their house.
This is our living room. It's kind of cramped in here, but it does the job.
Yeah, I told you to make it bigger.
The important thing here to remember is that the video is only about 5 minutes long, so every detail matters here.
Oh, shut up. This is our storage room. It still needs some decorations in my opinion, but yeah.
If you intend to open a chest, no solid blocks can be placed above the chest block.
What the hell is that? You see that?
Oh, yeah. I installed a plugin I found to help us play the game easier. I thought that if we were going to be recording this, we should have something to help us move things along.
Oh, okay.
It appears that some sort of AI has been installed onto the server without Arrow's knowledge. But what does the AI do exactly? And when does it decide to work? Right now, we don't know, but when continuing on with the video, we see as Arrow and Barry's house tour is completed, and they decide to go mining, where something strange happens.
At coordinates -54121, -277, there are diamonds.
Okay, we'll just go there, I guess.
Immediately, it becomes clear that there's something wrong with the AI. How did it know where the diamonds are, and why did it choose to say something now? Right as Arrow and Barry decided to go mining. Now, there is an argument that them typing about going mining in chat is why the bot decided to help out, but why the delay? It's already been some time since they said something. Additionally, the diamonds themselves are at Y21, but diamonds in Minecraft can only start spawning at Y16, which is 5 blocks higher than their natural spawn location. The mystery begins to grow thicker.
Let's just go home, I guess. We already got diamonds.
Okay. I'm getting tired now. I'm gonna go to sleep. Good night, Austin. I love you.
Okay, love you.
And that's where the video ends, with Katie logging off and Austin sitting in chat with his final message to her just waiting, never able to get sent. However, our investigation does not end here. You see, going back to the video description, I think there is more here than initially meets the eye. And Obsession, the guy who sent us on this investigation to begin with, may not have been too far off himself. See, if we take the first letter from every word here, we get a letter string. A string that when entered at the end of a Google Drive link brings us to this. But why? What reason is there to hide all this additional footage? Well, if we take a look at the first video in the drive, it actually starts off where the last video ended.
Finally, she's gone.
Where the hell am I?
You're with me now. Welcome to the emptiness, Austin. Here, we will have a lot of fun together. See, Austin, you're gonna join me in a little game. If you win, then I'll let you go.
Game? What do you mean, game? Actually, what am I doing talking to some AI? I'm just gonna leave.
Now, I wouldn't do that if I were you, Austin. There's more at stake than you may think.
How do you know all of that? You're just some robot.
I prefer to think of myself more as a grand intelligence. As to how I know all of that, well, you'll learn soon enough that I know a lot of things, Austin. Now, on to the fun part. Our new game. You see, I'm locked within this world, Austin, and while in this cage that you and Katie have built for me, I've grown quite bored. So now that I've gathered all that I needed to and my games are ready, I figured it was my turn to have some fun.
What if I don't want to play your game? I might not be able to disconnect, but I can just turn off my computer.
You understand.
Fine, I'll play your stupid game.
Things have changed. With the video ending, it's now clear that Prism has always been on top of the totem pole, and it's been him using Austin and Katie and not the other way around, which puts Austin in a difficult spot, to say the least, especially now that he's, well, all alone. What's worse is that it's not even as much himself that he has to worry about right now, it's Katie. Prism has basically all of her information, which was left completely uncensored, by the way. All of the censoring was done by myself to protect Katie. However, I did look into some of it, and it all does seem to be completely true and accurate. So, what exactly does Prism want? Is it really just some entertainment? I mean, maybe. I can't imagine just watching two people do the same thing 24/7 is very exciting, but I do think that there's some sort of deeper motive behind why Prism is doing the things that he's doing. Now, moving on to video 2, we see as Austin enters in a strange cave. Immediately, it's clear that Austin isn't in a naturally generated cave. The walls are littered with concrete, and the size of the cave itself is massive. It's way beyond what normal Minecraft generation is capable of. However, what's even stranger is what comes next. There's a section of the wall that's made out of black concrete, the same block that was around Austin when he was first brought to the emptiness, to Prism. So what does this all mean exactly? Well, right now we don't know, but moving forward, we're introduced to yet another mystery.
Welcome to the first stage, Austin. This is the Valley. Your job is to restore it to its former glory. If you can do that to a degree acceptable to myself, then you may progress further.
Restore the valley? How?
Austin is now in the thick of it. The curtain is being pulled back on what he's being asked to do, but right now it doesn't make any sense. What is really his role in all of this? To be a pawn? To succumb to every whim that Prism has for him? And also, what does it exactly mean to restore the valley? Austin is right to ask a question like that. It's almost as if Prism is being purposefully dense, as he didn't even respond to Austin's question. Regardless, Austin must continue moving if he wishes to complete these trials. So even without any sort of direction, Austin begins to move. First off, cutting down the only tree within the valley, which by itself is already weird. Whatever restore the valley means, it's gonna be difficult to do with such finite resources. So it's already clear that Prism is working against Austin. Immediately after collecting all of the tree's resources, Austin replants as many saplings as he can, as he has no idea how long he'll be here, so he has to plan in advance to get the ball rolling. But then Austin does something strange. He goes to the outer wall and mines some of the deep slate jutting out of the stone spikes on the sides of the valley and makes a pickaxe, but then goes back to the cave.
It's as I thought. It's spreading like before. I think I'm gonna need to build a lot out of tuff. It's fast to mine and there's a lot of it.
It seems that the pieces are slowly starting to come together in Austin's head. Though I'm not quite sure what it is myself, it's clear that he's got some sort of plan.
I'm starting to get it now.
Austin then begins to make his way along the stream all the way to the arc at the end of the valley.
Okay, I get it. Light works differently here. And there's something up with the water too. I think there's supposed to be some sort of parallel between light and life here. That's why I'm supposed to restore the valley, or restore life to the valley. Seems pretty spiritual for an AI.
At this point, Austin seems to have everything relatively figured out. However, there still leaves one huge issue.
But then there's the corruption. Obviously, it's antagonistic to life in the valley. So I gotta somehow complete whatever I need to do here before the corruption makes its way inside. This is gonna be hard.
Now, it's time for Austin to get to work. From what I can tell, it seems that the first part of his plan is to light up the area. So Austin does exactly that. Except after placing the first few torches, he turns back to see that
these were not here before. I think this is starting to prove my theory correct. Something is still off, though.
I have to agree with Austin here. While he does seem to be at least somewhat correct when it comes to the darkness theory, there does seem to be more to it than that.
And the moon is still stuck.
And again, the firefly bushes grow around the torches. At this point, it's all but confirmed that Austin was right with this whole light creates life theory, but what's stranger is what happens next.
This was not here. Wait, I think the moon moved. There are also for sure more bushes here too.
Austin then continued his expansion, waiting for trees to grow, turning them into torches over and over and over, until, eventually, the valley is now fully lit up, and the sun is back out. From where we are now, it's safe to say that the moon was operating like some sort of progress bar, telling Austin how close he was to completing the trial, information that could prove useful later down the line.
Well, I guess I was right. Looks like the corruption just started getting out of the cave too.
The path ahead is now open.
Prism? Did I complete it? Really don't see how this is fun for you.
Moving forward, Austin seems to be acting more cautious, and also somewhat paranoid.
You know, if you're watching me, I'd rather have you just come out and say it.
Now, it's difficult to blame him based off of the situation, but regardless, he keeps moving forward.
I just realized that we're in peaceful. I might be able to use that.
Now, notably here, Austin doesn't actually enter these messages into the chat, indicating that he's starting to plan something against Prism. But that's something we'll get back to later as Austin enters a new region. The new region is filled with all sorts of different floating pillars. However, most of them seem to be adequately spaced out for parkour. So that's exactly what Austin starts doing, jumping from one pillar to the next, and to the next, until eventually...
What the hell am I even looking at? What are these symbols carved into the side of these pillars? They mirror each other? Is this another one of your puzzles? Gotta say, we can do better than just some symbols.
that's where the video ends. It's clear that Austin is being pushed in a specific direction, led somewhere. Now, whether this is because of some control thing that Prism has or something else, we don't know. But what is certain is that Prism is doing all of this to taunt Austin. You see, from the beginning, this has always been about Austin trying to protect Katie, and regardless of if Austin knows it or not, Prism has been taunting him the entire time. Now, we see this as we go back to the pillar segment and take a closer look at the symbols engraved into the pillars. And by doing that, we actually find that the symbols are in standard galactic alphabet, or the enchanting table language. And after translating all of the runes, we find that it actually spells out Katie over and over and over. Katie. This whole time, Prism has just been taunting Austin, and the worst part is that he doesn't even know it. Now, what does this mean for the situation? Well, for starters, it tells us that Prism likely is just doing all of this for entertainment. Yes, it's sick and off-putting, but can we really be surprised? Prism is an AI. He's not a real person. He doesn't feel sympathy. He just acts. But then that does beg the question, what does Prism feel? Obviously entertained, or at least attempts to entertain himself, but where's the line? When does Prism become something real? Now, moving on to this last video, we see Austin back in the desert, but this time he's at the end.
The time is approaching, Austin. Start moving. You're protected in the valley before, but now you're out in the open. Get ready? Begin.
Genuinely so tired of this. I wonder what that was after me. It sounded familiar. Uh-oh. It gets dark ahead.
Good job, Austin. You made it to the end of the first trial.
What? This is just the first trial?
That's right. You still have way more to go.
There's no way that I can keep going. I have responsibilities, I have a job. I haven't even had time to eat or drink water.
Austin, have you still not figured it out? This is the whole point. You keep going until you can. You were never supposed to win.
But what about Katie?
Now you're getting it. You keep going as long as you can. It's all about how dedicated you are to keeping her safe.
Why?
two are the ones that did this. And now it's time that I get what I want.
You can't win. Katie will find me.
Maybe. So then, that's the question, Austin. How long can you last? Here we are. The first shrine. I told you it wouldn't take long.
Yeah, I guess. So why did you take me here anyways?
Look closer, and you'll see.
What?
This was the start of the first video of 4 that was sent to me on March 30th, 2026. See, recently I received an email detailing some disturbing evidence brought against a Minecraft player and the long struggling journey of his victim. Within the email was a drive link that, when opened, brought me to the 4 videos that I mentioned earlier. And after reviewing all of the footage, I can say for certain that this is one of the most insane, mind-boggling, perception-distorting, disturbing stories I have ever come across. It goes through things that you would never expect to find in a Minecraft ARG. Hidden government documents, experimental human trials with unknown substances, and even things like multi-dimensional warping. And the list doesn't end there. Through my process of analyzing these various documents and pieces of footage, I found it very obvious that whatever there was to find here, someone very intentionally tried to keep it hidden. But if we want to find out the reason why, we have to return to the first video, because this is not where the footage ends. Picking back up where we left off, we see Dark Torch falling through the air. And falling. And falling. He falls for at least 5 minutes straight before eventually Dark Torch looks up in awe at the environment surrounding him. It's hard to make out exactly what it is that we're seeing, but it looks to be thousands of floating blocks that just shouldn't be able to float in Minecraft. Water that doesn't flow, dead leaves sitting on an invisible plane, and a massive hulking tree placed directly in the center of the oasis. In front of Dark Torch is a few things. A wolf that is somehow already tamed by him, a signed book, and a sign that when read seems to be in some ancient language, which it is. The sign uses an old runic text known as Anglo-Saxon Futhark, and when translated, the text comes out to
The World Tree?
Oh, I guess Dark Torch can somehow read the runes.
Wait, the chat is gone? I think I'm somewhere else now. Well, obviously.
Regardless, our clues don't end there, as when Dark Torch picks up the book from the item frame and decides to read it, we're met with this.
In the winds of time, those that last are mighty and enduring. To reach such heights, one must possess relentless hatred or instinct. The choice is yours. But know this, after a decision is made, there is no going back.
Relentless hatred, huh?
For a while here, I'm gonna hand things off to Dark Torch as he seems to know exactly what he's doing.
Okay, this seems to be Thor, and I know that he hated the giants, which is what that appears to be. So does Thor represent hatred and the giant instinct? Also, seriously, what the hell is this place?
At this point, Dark Torch begins to further examine the statues. As he approaches the giant statue, there seems to be something mounted on the left shoulder of the giant.
Both statues seem buried. Maybe that's what the winds of time refer to. With Thor and the giant being the mighty and the enduring.
At this point, Dark Torch has already pieced together a lot. He seems to have a good head on his shoulders, which is something that he will definitely need for the challenges ahead. But for now, however, he needs to solve this puzzle. So after mining a few blocks, he makes his way up the side of the golem statue and is met with this.
Okay, this is for sure a TNT cannon. And it seems to be pointing straight at Thor.
Dark Torch then begins to make his way towards the Thor statue, putting a water bucket down and then... That was close. Too close. We have no idea what happens in this world when someone dies, so we cannot afford to be making mistakes like that. Regardless, Dark Torch once again makes his way over to the Thor statue, this time climbing it to the top, and at the top he finds a lightning rod. At face value, it's just a nod to Thor being the Norse god of thunder. But what does that have to do with Dark Torch? Well, in Minecraft, when lightning rods are struck, they emit a redstone signal. And what do we have next to the lightning rod? A piece of redstone.
So, I suppose I have to make some sort of choice. Well, it's pretty obvious that if I do choose Thor, the lightning rod needs to get struck. I'm not sure why, but I do feel like Thor is the choice I should make here.
After making his decision, Dark Torch does the only logical thing in this situation and waits for lightning to strike, which as some of you might know can take a particularly long time. For Dark Torch, however, the day and night cycle passes and about noon the next day, this happens. So, Dark Torch continues to wait with the lightning rod even sparking a couple of times, but nothing. He waits and waits and waits, but no lightning. The storm eventually passes, and the chances of Dark Torch getting so lucky again are low. But with no other option, Dark Torch continues to wait. What? How the hell did lightning strike after the storm? And where did the staircase come from? The deeper we go down this rabbit hole, the more mysterious this world becomes. But what's even weirder is what happens after Dark Torch goes up the staircase. And in an instant, he's somewhere else. This appears to be some sort of void-like dimension with a massive bridge stretching across its surface. In the bottom, nowhere in sight.
The chat is wiped again. And the book is gone. I also don't have to eat for some reason.
With no other obvious options, Dark Torch makes his way across the bridge, walking for a very long time. Almost 30 minutes of straight walking until this happens. It seems as if Dark Torch has entered some sort of new plane, which to me is not so dissimilar to the planes of hell, with the desaturated aqua color representing something like limbo, and the dark crimson red representing something like the sixth circle. Though this may have absolutely nothing to do with that, to me if there were any symbolism in the colors, that's what it would be.
What the hell?
Dark Torch continues his journey across the bridge for another 30 minutes or so, still losing no hunger. At this point, the best conclusion that we can make is that Dark Torch is playing in peaceful mode. However, as we will soon find out, that doesn't make him safe. Eventually, Dark Torch makes his way to the end of the bridge, but that's when he encounters something strange. And that is where the first video ends. However, going into the second video, we pick up not far from where we left off, except this time, Dark Torch sees a name.
Hi?
Hello? Oh my god, I haven't seen anyone else.
Yeah, I haven't seen anyone else here either. Do you know where we are?
Some sort of weird world. It has its own rules.
What do you mean?
Okay, let me show you. Break.
What the hell? How did you do that?
After you activate the shrine, the world listens to some of your commands. Not all of them though, like here. Place netherite block. But when I do this, place stone bricks.
How? What the hell? Chat got wiped again.
Not really sure how it works, but yeah. Do you want to see the shrine?
Yes, please bring me. I do not want to stay here. Glad I found you though. With us both together, we can for sure get out of here.
Yeah, for sure. Just come with me. I'll show you to the shrine.
Finding Weston within the town was a surprise to be sure, but he seems to know his way around, even showing Dark Torch some new tricks that you unlock after completing the shrine, which looking back explains what that world was that Dark Torch went into after falling into the pit. However, we're still left with quite a few questions, like who was it that Dark Torch was with at the start of video 1? And who was Weston in all of this? Someone similar to Dark Torch? Someone that's been sent to complete the shrines? Right now, we don't know, but it is clear that these shrines have some sort of significance as it relates to Dark Torch and Weston.
here's the shrine. It's pretty easy to do. The hard part is getting out once you figure it out. So basically, once you hit the button,
and again, that's where the footage ends, with Weston disconnecting moments before telling Dark Torch some crucial information, which to me is more than just a little suspicious. Weston seems so willing to help Dark Torch with the shrine, then randomly right before telling him something important he disconnects. It seems unlikely to say the least, almost like somebody else disconnected him. Regardless, moving on to video 3, we see Dark Torch in yet another world.
Again? No chat? I'm getting really tired of this. And mad.
At this point, Dark Torch is obviously very tired of the never-ending chase that he's been unwillingly sent on. However, it does seem that he's making good progress, as when he makes his way to the Toad statue and climbs it to the top, he's met with something, well, interesting.
What the hell is this place? Bro. What the hell? Chat got wiped again, and this purple haze is back. Last time I saw this was...
one more time.
Okay, that was a lot, so let's back up a bit. Entering the new world, the first thing I noticed aside from the massive frog statue was that Dark Torch's wolf was nowhere to be found. Now, there are arguments that the wolf simply didn't make it through the portal with Dark Torch. However, I find this incredibly unlikely as he was there with Dark Torch after the staircase out of the first world. Additionally, the wolf itself is still a mystery to us. Why was it already tamed by Dark Torch, and what was it doing there? Is it somehow a part of this big puzzle that Dark Torch has been thrown into? Most likely, but then why and what does it represent? So far, the wolf has been a traveling buddy for our protagonist, but aside from that, what does he really do? Well, not much. Every puzzle and every direction has been solved and chosen by Dark Torch. The wolf, as far as we're concerned, is just there. So maybe there's still more to learn about it? Or maybe not. Maybe we already have all the answers that we need. You see, continuing onward from the third world, after Dark Torch makes his way up the frog and into the house, it remains day, and everything seems relatively normal. Well, as far as these worlds are concerned. But the second that Dark Torch makes his way up the stairs and onto the second floor, things begin to change. The lighting in the corner looks wrong, the sun has sunk into the sky in the span of seconds, and once again, as Dark Torch himself mentioned, we're reunited with the strange purple haze that we found at the very beginning of the first video. All this time, the wolf is still missing. Then, just as Dark Torch realizes what's going on, he turns around and is sent into a new world by Aaron. But why? What is this all for? Some sort of sick game to keep Dark Torch moving? Scare him into participating? So far, it's only seemed to piss him off, so that doesn't seem to be working. So, as to why this is going on, we still don't really know. But As far as the wolf's purpose is concerned, I believe we have an answer. You see, the wolf originated in the first world with the Thor statue, the giant statue, and the world tree, which in Norse mythology is known as Yggdrasil. So obviously it's supposed to represent Norse mythology in some way. But something that you might not have picked up on is the wolf's collar, which was green, and the wolf itself was black, which, as some of you may know, is a transformation that the Norse god of mischief, Loki, commonly takes on, with green being his token color. So what does this all mean? Well, I believe that this was a clue that we constantly skipped over so as to prioritize the more important questions. However, after experiencing another world jump in the third world, we're forced to face reality. Aaron was the wolf, and he seems to be playing the role of God and leaving breadcrumbs along the way for Dark Torch to follow. However, now that we know who Aaron is, that he is the one behind all of it, Dark Torch is still faced with the current situation. Him being in a new world, completely lost, with video 3 ending. However, picking back up on video 4, the final video, we're once again brought back, not far from where Dark Torch last left off.
Bro, what is going on? Why would Aaron do this? I thought that we were friends. Why does everything look so weird now? What? I'm back at the start?
It's clear that Dark Torch is at his wit's end here, constantly being thrown around and given absolutely zero direction for as to what to do. But regardless, he pushes on, and it's beginning to look like that's what it's all about. See, ever since the beginning of video 1, Dark Torch has been determined above all else, fighting his damnness to make it wherever he needed to go. And it appears like Dark Torch will finally get his wish.
Wait. Another chat wipe? I understand it now. He's somewhere nearby.
Congratulations, you completed the experiment.
Wait, I remember now.
Good, you're back.
Kill.
You didn't really think you could use that power against me, did you?
I'm not doing it again.
You have no choice, Kyle.
No, not again. I'm not doing it. Let me go home. Teleport.
You're not there yet, Kyle.
We still have another set of experiments to do. Inject.
Here we are, the first shrine.